Our next storyteller is Naty King. And Naty is an amazing story of a resilient woman. And I had a brief chat with her the other day, and she said that she'd focus on what she wanted to do, what was possible, instead of getting stuck in what those challenges were. She went from having a career in corporate finance, yes, corporate finance, and then is now an organic farmer. Yes, an organic farmer. And so her work also expands into advocacy work as well. She currently runs a farm called Hazelmere Organic Farm, and she also does a lot of advocacy for healthy living. She organized the Joy of Feeding, which was an event at UBC Farm. It featured 15 different mothers who cooked different dishes from their different heritages. So it raised over $25,000 for UBC Farm, and it was I had a lot of friends who went there, and they said it was a really incredible event. And so now we'll hear a bit more from Naty about her transition and how she chose to get where she is.
Good evening to everyone. It's so exciting for me to come tonight, even though I was so apprehensive, didn't realize as I entered the room, and so all you people here, I thought it was just going to be a group of, I don't know, women who wanted to learn about farming and wanted to hear my story. But I hope you can see the joy in my heart to see all the young faces that are here, because when my husband and I changed our careers, and as we went through our career as farmers, we always talked about how are we going to change this world. And my husband was always saying, through the young ones, right? And so he would give himself, his time, and everything to go to schools and to give talks, to have tours on the farm. So by saying that, any one of you would like to come and see our farm in South Surrey, you are more than welcome. I'll leave my information with Diana and Jocelyn. But anyway, my story is, yes, a little bit strange. And sometimes when I sit at night and I think about where I am, I kind of wonder and laugh at myself, and I can't believe where I am. I come from the Philippines. I'm a Filipina with a Chinese and Spanish background. So when I go to the Philippines, people at the airport keep talking to me in English, and I talk to them in our native language, and it takes them about 2 minutes, and they look at me and say, "Oh, were you Filipina before?" And it's such a question but that's my background. And I came from a middle-class, upper-class family in the Philippines, went to an all-girls school, and my family on both sides were very much into food. My Chinese grandfather would always be in banquets, invited, and it includes his family, which is us. My Spanish side of my family, my dad was so much into food. So we all grew up as a family. Our main focus was food in the family. Right? We never ate McDonald's, never had any frozen food. Everything is cooked at home, to the point that even in the Philippines, the system of education is so centered about the family also, where you would see in the schools at lunchtime, this big gate opens, right? And you'd see women with containers of food coming in for their children to eat. So in our campus, there will be so many picnic tables, right? And everybody shares their food with one another. That is my connection to local food. So as a little child, as a child going through the educational system, that's where I started feeling how important food is. It is who I am is what I eat, right? And that's always what my father said to us, right? So my grandmother on my mother's side, she would always be at the market every other day. And in the weekends, I can't wait to go with her to the market, touch the fish, see the meat being cut up, all the vegetables, and she'd have baskets, no plastic bags at that time, and just put all the meat underneath the fish and then the vegetables on the top, and she would take the public transportation. Even though she would have a car, she would love to get on the public transportation and look around, go around the town, and see where all the other people are doing and what other people are buying from the market. So that's my background in terms of my heritage. And when I finished university, and the story how I came here is that we were all getting ready to go and receive our diplomas, and my best friend, my mom and dad came to me and said, we would like to gift you with to go to San Francisco and go to school. And I looked at them, I can't. And I didn't realize, they didn't realize that I volunteered myself to work with indigenous people in the Philippines. I couldn't tell them, right, because it's not the thing to do for young girls in that country. But anyway, so my mom and dad insisted that I was going to San Francisco to go to school. And my girlfriend said, Naty, you are crazy. Go and learn and come back and help them. Right? So that's how I am here right now. So I went to school in San Francisco. The same thing. My first food in San Francisco that I really liked was Kentucky Fried Chicken. And I just couldn't, I couldn't understand the whole concept of food at that time. And so it was very difficult for me to go into that kind of a fast food. So anyway, short of the whole thing, got married a Canadian, and got involved in foreign exchange. I was a foreign exchange broker for 17 years between San Francisco and Vancouver. So the last trip that we had to San Francisco, my husband got sick, so we came back to Vancouver and started the farm. That was 30 years ago. He passed away 3 years ago, but it brought him another 25 years of his life by changing the lifestyle and also, changing the food that we eat. So again, looking back at food, you have to look at food as the main important thing in your life. You could be whatever you are, but food has to be the main strength of who you are. I know it's a very short period of time, but I'm willing to answer questions afterwards later on. All I want to say from you right now is that my story is hopefully a little bit to inspire the young ones and all of you, that whatever walk of life that you're in, food has to be part of your life. It will be who you are and what you will become. And whether you are a Filipino or from Germany or something, we all share that same need and want, is to nourish our bodies. And that's what I continue doing right now in the farm and by providing our food to Whole Foods and some local restaurants, and whoever wants to come to the farm and buy our food. So. But one last thing I wanted to say as a farmer, I know this local food is so important to everybody, but living in the Fraser Valley, every one of you has to understand local food is going to be not important. It's not going to be important in the sense that if there's no farms around. And all the municipalities in Surrey, Chilliwack, Langley, Abbotsford, all the officials of those little towns, they have no respect for farms. And I'm seeing it in Surrey. I'm seeing it in the pressure that we all have as farms to be able to provide the food to people like you who understands and appreciates local food. But almost all of the farms are being taken away from the ALR. So think about that. So that's the last thing that I want you to think about. Save us. Save the farmland in the Fraser Valley, because local food is going to be meaningless if there's no farms around you. Thank you.